here's what I do. Like if this is probably going to be, I just use one of these files here. That's kind of rough it up. Now this is probably about how it's going to look like when I take it through the sander. Okay, it's not the best best tool for that, but you know, so sanders are great. So I'm going to show you. I'll use Greene, and you can see like all the scratches right here. I just took the file and I just put all the scratches right here like this. Okay, so you can see it's pretty much scratched up. I can scratch it up even more, like that. Okay, maybe this color might show up a little bit better. Maybe blue, or green would be a little better. Okay, so now you can see all the scratches there. And that's pretty bad scratches, okay? I'm not thinking that. So I'm going to use the card scraper and I'm going to take it off a lot quicker than if I was going to sand. If I was going to sand, I have to probably start off with maybe 100 grit at least, okay? 100 grit, and then through all my grits, 120, 150, 180, 220, 280, 360, and so forth. So I don't know how sharp this one is. Not bad, okay? So here, I just take it off here. Okay, so pretty much there, it's pretty much done. Now there's some deeper scratches right here.
What's the thickness on that card?
This one here?
Yeah.
It's probably about 30 thousandths, I think. Okay. Now if it gets dull on you, okay, so I can see some of the scratches here. Okay, something like that. There it goes. Okay. After I do that, I take hopefully this is about 280. Oh, perfect. 280. Okay, take a 280 grit, and I just basically touch it up. Okay, just like that. And then I use a cotton rag, a clean cotton rag. Old t-shirt works really well. Okay, get a cotton rag and you burnish it. So basically, just kind of like this. Okay, and it's pretty much done. It's ready to put the finish on. So if you feel this one here, just kind of touch it real fast.
Oh my gosh. Even with a soft mahogany. Oh, wow. Turn out.
The softer the wood, the lighter the touch. And you might have to use a thinner one here. Okay, so you don't want to dig down on it. So the way I put an edge on here is really easy.
Maybe use the holders.
I don't use the holder because there's too many adjustments. So basically, here I can feel what I need to do. I can make all my adjustment because it translates right to my brain. So like, I need to go this or this or this. One thing about the holder is that it only works on this one area. Because here, if this one gets dull, I can move it over to here. I can move it over here. I can move it over here. Move it around. So if this gets dull in the middle, I can move it over here and see work on this side. Right? Then I work it over here. And I work on this side. So I have the whole surface I can kind of keep transferring back and forth. So the way I do this is very simple. I usually take it to the stone. I want to make sure that this is absolutely smooth, okay? No scratches. I don't use a file. Some people like to use a file. I don't do that because it puts scratches on my surface. So basically, if I have scratches on my surface and I'm scraping, basically I'm just taking a file and I'm just scraping it like that. Alright, so I don't want to do that. So I usually take it to my stone. So this one is not so bad. I'm just going to start off with 1,000 grit. Okay, here's 1,000 grit. So I basically sharpen it as if it was my chisel, okay? So I'm going to get my edges nice and smooth like this. Okay, then I flip it over and I get my edges nice and smooth. Okay. Then I use a block of wood, 90 degrees. Keep it at 90. Okay, now I'm going to get this edge nice and smooth. So basically it's just kind of go like this. And kind of move it around so this way it doesn't put a groove in my stone, okay? So once I get that one done, I usually take it up to about 4,000 grit. Because I want to treat, like I said, I want to treat this thing as if it was my plane iron, my chisel. Okay, it has to be treated the same way. So once I get the scratches out, not bad, okay? There's my 4,000 stone right here. I just discovered these things. These are polishing stones. There's a big difference between polishing stones and sharpening stones. Sharpening stones, it would still leave scratches, but these polishing stones are just absolutely amazing. With the 4,000 is equivalent to maybe an 8,000 grit sharpening stone, maybe a 16,000 grit sharpening stone. This will put such a polish on here. It's just amazing how the polish you get out of this guy. So normally with a polishing stone, you use a little bit of Nagura stone, like this. You rub it on here like that. Give it that little slurry, and that's what polishes it up. So, oops. Okay. I have to get this one wet just a little bit. See how flat it is? I can pick it up like that almost. Okay? Now just again do my 90 here. Okay. So now I can feel my edge here, and I can feel my edge here very sharp. This is absolutely square. If this is rounded, you can't put an edge on there. You know, it's very difficult. So now that I did it is squared off and polished up, I can put a burr on here. Okay. So here's how you put a burr on. Actually, I'm putting an edge on. I'm not really pure about the burr. Sometimes people don't even feel a burr when I do it. But as long as the edge is sharp, that's all I really need. So the most important thing is you need to get a nice burnisher. I have a couple of burnishers here. Lee Valley, this is by Hawk Tools. 65 Rockwell hardness. They didn't tell me how hard this one is. But obviously it's got to be harder than the car scraper. This is about 50 Rockwell hardness. 65, you know, plenty good. I definitely want to stay away from screwdrivers. Okay, it's not really a burnisher. So I use a little bit of oil. A lot of people don't use oil. So if you're a machinist, you know that metal against metal is not a good thing to do. So just put a drop of oil. I just use 3-in-1 oil. WD-40, whatever you want to use, it doesn't matter. As long as there's some sort of lubricant on here, okay? So after you lube it up, I'm going to sharpen the edge. I'm not really concerned about how big the burr is. So here's the edge that I'm going to do. I'll just put a little X right here, a little arrow. That's what I'm going to be working on right here. Okay. So I basically want to pull the metal out. So I'll start from here and pull it out like this. Okay. So actually I'm kind of pulling the metal out. I'm starting right here. Lift it up slightly and just go like this. Okay. You don't need a whole lot. So after that's done, here's the edge. I'll put it on a vise. And then here's 90 degrees. I want to go to about 5 degrees right here. And I want to push it out also too. I'm pushing it out this way. And I'm pushing it out like this. Okay, I start from here, end up over here. So I'm actually pushing the metal out at a slight 5 degrees, okay? Just like that. Now, not a whole lot of pressure. And also too, when you feel it, there's hardly any burr on here. Just feel that, okay? So I'm not...
Just slight, very slight.
You can barely feel it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned about how big the burr is. I just want to make sure that it's a sharp edge. That's more my concern than a big burr. Okay, the bigger the burr, I think it weakens it. Like I always tell people, it's like having big, long fingernails. The bigger it is, the weaker it's going to break off. Okay, so right here, very slight, a lot of metal supporting behind it. So, okay, there it is. Okay, nice good shaving. And then if it gets dull, all you have to do is massage the burr back down, because the burr is now sticking up like this about 3 degrees, okay? So you want to massage it back like this, just massage it back, knock it back down again, okay, and just kind of rub it back and forth like this, just lay it flat and rub it back and forth like that, okay? Knock the burr down so the burr's gone. So basically you want to pull the metal out like this, that one time. Okay, once you get the hang of the 5 degrees, you don't need to chuck it up on a vise. So I pull it out 5 degrees this way. So I hold it up, here's my edge. So I basically hold it like this, 90, 5 degrees, and just go straight out. I'm sharpening it, just like this. Okay, that's all you need. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'll do this side here. I haven't put a burr on this side. So basically, You knock it down a little bit. One stroke, and whoops. Nice shavings there. Okay. Now the trick is to find a sweet spot. The sweet spot meaning like this. Here's 90. I can't cut anything because my burr is actually coming up this way, right? It's at a 5 degree. If I go 45, which a lot of people do, now my burr is actually being almost like crushed. You can't really. Now I'm getting some more sawdust because I'm actually scraping it now, right, like that. But if you find a sweet spot right about like this, you can find it. Here it goes, watch. Oh, right there. I can feel it grabbing. That's my sweet spot. So right there. Okay? And that's when it's kind of cutting. You got to find where the angle is, because a lot of people they go too far down, and you're just basically getting a lot of sawdust. Okay, bring it up a little bit more. Find a sweet spot. Boom, you're done. Very, very simple to do. And you can feel the burr very, very slight. Okay, so don't worry about such a big burr. A lot of people talk about getting that burr. I see people go like this, and wow, look at this big burr. It's about a sharp edge. Okay, get yourself a nice stone and sharpen it up, and you'll be amazed what this thing can do. Now, when you're working on a softer wood, you have to do a lighter touch. Okay, so let me just get a nice edge on here. Okay, so let me just pull an edge one more time. Just pull it out. Like that. Okay. Light touch right here, like this. Light touch. Okay. I don't want to dig down on it, because I could crush the fibers, right? Because the fiber, hard maple is, the fibers are like this. If I push down on it hard enough, I can actually tear it off like this. This is not what you want to do. Okay? Now that is not what you want to do. You can feel that I'm tearing up the fibers right here. How smooth is here? Very rough here. So I'm tearing up, see I'm tearing up the fibers? What I'm doing is actually crushing the wood like this, crushing it down. So this fiber is actually pushing this fiber away, so it's tearing it off before I had a chance to cut it. So, come on, give it a that. So lighter touch, just like this. You don't have to pick up that much, especially when you're using the soft mahogany, okay? Just use a lighter touch and you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about digging in too hard. Okay?